Hey guys, thanks for checking out this episode of Perspective. As traveling baseball players, we get a ton of time spent in hotel lobbies and coffee shops. We're sitting outside of a Starbucks right now in the mall, and we're going to take advantage of that time, do a little mini-series, and talk a little baseball for you guys. Hey guys, welcome back to this episode of Perspective. This episode I got my teammate Tyler Stevens here sitting down with me to kind of branch off the last topic that we covered about the Rapsodo, talk a little bit about spin rate, what it is, why it's important, and kind of how it helps us as pitchers. Now I asked Tyler to join me because he's got a really good high spin rate on his fastball. And for those of you not familiar with spin rate that we're talking about, it's the number of revolutions the ball makes from the time it leaves the pitcher's hand to the time the catcher catches it. And it's measured in RPMs just like you'd see on the dash of your car. The average spin rate of a major league fastball, I think, is around 2250. Does that sound right? And Tyler averages around 24 to 2600. So that's obviously really high. So we're going to kind of dig into the spin rate and kind of how it helps us as pitchers. So thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. Like I said, Tyler's got a really good spin rate on his fastball. So just talk a little bit about how you feel spin rate helps you just as a pitcher in general.
I mean, growing up, I've always been a fastball changeup guy, but I didn't know really anything about spin rate until I got to pro ball, and they sat me down and said, hey, your fastball can play up in the zone. And ever since I switched to that, I've noticed a lot more swings and misses on my fastball, which has benefited me, and a lot more infield pop-ups and shallow pop-ups to the outfield, which has also helped become more effective to every hitter, honestly.
Yeah. What does your fastball velo look like? What's the range on it?
It depends on a good day. Some of the guys in the bullpen have made fun of me for my 84s after not very many warm-up pitches, but it mainly sits anywhere from like 91 to 94. And
the only reason I ask is to give some context. Just because your spin rate's really high doesn't necessarily mean you're throwing with a super high velo, and doesn't mean that you can't get swings and misses on a
exactly.
Like I mean, I'm sure I've done it. You've done it. Some of my lower velocity fastballs with still my good high spin, your good high spin, you can still get a good swing and miss on that, at the top of the strike zone.
Exactly. Spin rate doesn't directly correlate with velo, because you look at Jordan Hicks, who's throwing 105, but his spin rate's really low, and then you look at a guy like, we can even use an old teammate of ours, is Jordan Yamamoto. He throws 90 miles an hour, but his spin rate's through the roof, where it looks like the ball's rising at home plate.
Yeah. So is that what you would say has been your difference for spin rate, that you've been using more of the top of the zone because of your once you started seeing your spin?
Oh yeah. I used to just live at the knees, inside, outside, and then once I found out that I had the high spin rate and I could pitch up in the zone, I started doing that more later in counts, and realized my strikeout numbers going way up. So it's been very beneficial to me and effective for me, but it's also a thin white line, because if you don't get it there all the way, you're going to get smacked around the yard a little bit. And I've learned, and I've had numerous teammates come up to me and be like, hey, help me with this, or hey, what do you do? And I just, during flat grounds, bullpens, anything, I just really work at trying to hit that thin white line to where it comes second nature to me in games.
Like pitching inside.
Yeah.
Very thin line between pitching in and middle in. Guys can get to the middle in pitch, but it's tough to get to a 90-mile-an-hour well-located inside foul.
Yep.
that was you kind of touched on my next question. Is it something that you think about and work on, like in your daily work?
Oh yeah, I mean, really made sure that I stay through the baseball and really get that ride that I'm looking for. And another thing is too, when I'm playing catch and playing long toss, whatever, I really don't want my ball to fade. I want it to stay in a straight line, because that means I'm staying behind the baseball and really getting it out in front, and that's where you get your spin rate from.
That's good. That's also kind of my next question. Just for a kid that's not familiar with spin rate, or trying to become a better pitcher, find out who they are. Where would you say? Where do you think spin rate kind of comes from?
It honestly just comes from that rip through the top of your delivery, or towards the finish of your delivery. When you're finishing towards the plate, you really want to get it out in front and really drive through with your wrist and really just rip it down, and that friction from your hands. And if you just play catch with it and just kind of pay attention to what your ball does, you'll be able to see if you're a spin rate guy or if you're more of a sinker guy.
Yeah, I think that's one of the bigger things I think I've learned about spin rate. I pay a lot of attention to Driveline, kind of what they've done and the studies they've put out over the years. And if I'm not mistaken, I think they did a research project showing there's really no real way to improve your spin rate. It's more directed at finding out kind of who you are. If you're a low spin guy, you want to throw more sinkers. If you're a high spin guy, you want to throw more four seams and pitch at the top of the zone, or at least just mix in your pitches at the top of your zone. Spin rate's not necessarily something. It's kind of like you either got it or you don't, but it's more about finding out who you are as a specific individual.
Yeah, it's
pitcher.
just like with anything else. You have it or you don't.
Yeah.
And if you have it, you can always work on it to where it can maybe improve a couple 100 RPMs or whatnot.
Right.
But
Cool.
it'll benefit you if you can really find out who you are, and then you can really focus on the style of pitching you are for further into your career.
That's it for this episode. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys got any questions or other topics you'd like covered in future episodes, leave us a comment on this post, and check back next time for some more Coffee Shop Combos.
Hey guys, thanks for checking out this episode of Perspective. When we get to 1,000 subscribers, we're going to be giving away a pair of custom cleats by Katie Custom Kicks, this package from Evo Shield, and a pair of these sunglasses from Under Armour. So I appreciate you checking out this channel. Make sure to hit that subscribe button to enter to win.